Jermaine, you can live anywhere in the world. Why do you choose to stay in San Francisco? What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video. Thought I would just make a video today just answering a question that I get over and over. Jermaine, why do you choose to stay in San Francisco if you can live anywhere? People always ask me, why won't you go back home to your home city, hometown, which is Memphis, Tennessee, if you didn't know. Why won't you go back home? Why won't you like buy a house? Why won't you leave California? Everybody's leaving California. All the cool kids, all the cool people are leaving California. So why won't you leave California? Why won't you take off and follow the trend? And thought I would talk about that for a second. So first off, I don't exactly know where I would move if I wanted to leave San Francisco. If I wanted to leave San Francisco and stay within the U.S., maybe I would move down to Santa Barbara because I lived in Santa Barbara before I moved to San Francisco. Maybe I would want to move there. Maybe I'd want to check out parts of Ventura, possibly parts of LA. But there's another problem with leaving the city and moving to another place in California. I probably would need a car. So this may be a situation where, I'd stay in the city because, if I stay in the city, I don't have to buy a car. I don't have to drive. I can still get around using a bike or a skateboard or, walking versus living in most parts of LA. Most parts of LA, you definitely need a car. So that's one reason. It's very, very easy to stay here because if I do move, I'm gonna have to buy a car. I'm gonna have to have that expense. I really, really like living in a place where you can get away with not having a car. I really, really appreciate that. And there are other places I can live. Like I could go back to my hometown, which is Memphis, and I could, get away with not having a car. Now, there it wouldn't be, socially acceptable as much because everybody has a car, and it would be really, really weird if I moved there and didn't have a car. People would be like, why don't you have a car, But if I lived downtown, I could just ride a bike everywhere I wanted to go, I could just do all my stuff downtown. Or if I lived in Midtown, like I could have a bike and just do all my journeys and stuff in Midtown, right? Yeah, but the only problem with places like Memphis and most places around the U.S., the wintertime it gets cold. And also throughout the year it rains frequently. So you'd have to battle the weather. Weather in San Francisco, it rains, but we don't get that much rain, and the winters are not that cold, and when I mean not that cold, I'm talking about maybe it'll get down to like 45 degrees, maybe you'll see some 40-degree days, but usually it doesn't really get that much colder. It doesn't get cold like most places in the U.S. where it gets down to like 32, it gets down to freezing, or it gets down to below freezing. Maybe it gets down to 20 degrees once or twice a year, or sometimes it could be even colder in most places in the U.S., but not here in San Francisco. The weather won't be that cold, and that's one thing I cannot appreciate about the city. Another reason why I choose to stay in the city is it's actually really easy to stay in the city right now. It's really easy because just last year, I just remember the city was just so much busier, and now it's like a different place. It's not the same city. For the past couple of years, I've also been like traveling, like trying to go to like 65 countries, and it's been really nice to do that because I basically, come to San Francisco, work, and then travel, and then come back home, San Francisco, work, stay a little bit, travel again. And one reason I did that was because, man, back then, like last year, things were a whole lot more expensive. And this year, prices have come down like a lot. Like there are so many good deals out. Now, don't get me wrong, this year there's a lot of casualties. And what I mean by casualties, I'm talking about there's a lot of businesses that are just gone, which is really sad. you know. There's a couple places I used to go to all the time, and now they no longer exist just because they just couldn't make it. And that happened to a lot of businesses. I'm pretty sure we can all name restaurants where, you know, it's no longer working. It's no longer in business. Sorry if my hair looks crazy. Like, I have dreadlocks, and when you have dreadlocks, your hair's crazy. That's just how it is. So, the city. Why leave? You know? Why leave? Like, so many people have left. I've watched so many people leave the city, and now I just ask myself, like, why leave? Why leave? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, crime and stuff like that has definitely picked up, and for the most part, it's kind of sad. You know, it's kind of sad because you just go places that were always full of people, always full of, like, happy people, and now that, like, just doesn't exist, you know? Like, I just remember just going to different places, like going to different restaurants, and, you know, just seeing life, you know. And now, like, life looks a whole lot different in the city. Life looks a whole lot freaking different in the city, and, you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. This year, 2020, this year has been just an insane year in my life. I know a lot of people, like, really hate 2020, but I want to say, like, 2020 for the most part it's been like the year of my life, you know. And I think one huge reason why 2020 has been the year of my life is because I've been here in San Francisco the whole time, and I've watched the city change so much. Like, I've watched it change, like, right before my freaking eyes. Like, I just watched it change. Like, I've been freaking in San Francisco the whole time. I went to New York in January for, like, a week. I was gone, and then I went and visit my family, like, a month ago for, like, 5 days. But ever since, like, I've been here, like, every day, and I've seen some pretty insane days. I remember when the lockdowns, right before the lockdown started, guys, like, oh my gosh, like, I remember that this was insane. So I actually had a flight scheduled to go to Wuhan, China, and then from Wuhan, China, the flight was going to go to Bangkok. And when that flight got canceled, I knew that this was serious. And I knew things were going to change. And at that time, people were laughing. People were making jokes on Facebook. They were talking about, oh yeah, it's just going to stay in China. It's going to stay in China. Well, when they canceled my flight, I knew for sure it was coming. So I took advantage of it. Like, I just went out every night, had a blast. Went out to eat, no mask. I went to the bar, no mask. And I remember I was sitting at the bar, you know, and I was looking around. And I was just looking around, and I was looking at everyone just hanging out, having a good time, drinking, laughing, socializing, living life like people used to live life before 2020. And I was just thinking to myself, just watch. Tomorrow, it's going to change the day after, it's going to change the day after, it's going to change the day after, it's going to change. Just enjoy it right now. Things are about to change, big time. Things are about to change. Just enjoy it. I remember going back to the next bar, the same bar, 2 days later, and that's when I was that's when my guess was confirmed. You know, I went back, and they had a line outside the bar, and they were not letting, like, X amount of people in. I think it was like 50% capacity or something. And I was just like, here it is. Right here. It's right here before our eyes. Here it is. And then the next day I go, they're like, yeah, we're closing down tomorrow. That's it. We're closing down. Like, all the places around here are closing down. I remember the indoor dining when they got rid of that, and I just kept going out just because I knew it was gonna change, you know. And I don't know, I was kind of freaking out. Like, I thought that this was gonna be. I thought I didn't know what was gonna happen to me, you know, because what do? I mainly just work for random apps, like food delivery apps. My guess was that majority of the people were gonna leave the city. My guess was, rent prices were gonna freaking drop. My guess was 50% of freaking restaurants would close. I didn't think 50% of businesses would close, but these were things that I was guessing because it was already happening in China. I was just looking across the ocean, seeing what was going on, just saying, oh yeah, the same thing's gonna happen here. I even have some videos back in the past where I was, talking about food delivery and how food delivery is going to change here, in the U.S. And now, like, everybody, wears a mask and, gloves and all that. It's just crazy now, And I didn't just guess these things. I was just looking just right over at China and see what was going on there, I was following YouTubers in China, and they were talking about, oh, yeah, this is happening, this is going on, and that's going on. And, yeah, and then now I look at myself and, like, I've been in the city the whole year, and man, this year has been freaking year of my life, yo. Like, no joke. Like, it's been the year of my life, and like, it's crazy. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Right when I knew that my flights were canceled, I knew my life was gonna change. Like, I knew for sure life was gonna change. Like, I knew it. Like, I knew it, yo. They don't just cancel flights, yo. They don't just freaking cancel flights just like for no freaking reason. Like, no, they cancel like all their flights, yo. And I was like, this is gonna be really bad. And once again, like, I made the best of this year. Like, I don't know how I did it. I made the best of this year. Like, this has been the year of my freaking life. Like, I remember when all the restaurants were closed, I was freaking out. I was like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And I was just as productive this year. I got things done. I had a blast this year. I had an amazing time. Recently I was in a Facebook group, and I was posting up, profile pic, single, and I met this really cool person, and we have been hanging out quite a bit, and that's 2020 for me, That's 2020 for a nutshell, and that's why I choose to freaking stay in San Francisco. Like, it's still working out for me. Like, I live in a freaking hotel, which is pretty cool, which is unique. If I went back home, I wouldn't be living in a freaking hotel. If I went back to Tennessee, I would not be living in a freaking hotel. I would be living, with some family or something, or in a more traditional setting. But, I'm living in a random place again. I'm riding a freaking skateboard. If I went back home, I wouldn't be riding a skateboard. I would, maybe I would try, but what am I going to do when it's raining for 7 days in a row? I guess it rains for 7 days in a row around here, and I still get around, right? Still figure it out. I don't know. That's why I choose to live in San Francisco. Like, I want to stay here. I love this city. Like, I had an amazing year this year, and it's crazy. I watched so many things change. I watched so many people lose their jobs, and like, I'm just thankful. Like, I'm fortunate that I'm still here, I read the comments, and like, so many people like leave comments saying that, like, oh, I used to live there, and like, I miss it, and like, I really want to come back, but my job left and I had to move, and look at me, like, I'm still here. Like, honestly, like, I thought I would have moved away like a long time ago. Like, I really thought I would have moved away. I thought I would have just been like, yo, F the city, like, I'm tired of it. But like, I'm kind of growing on it now. I'm just learning more and more about the city. The more and more you learn about the city, the more and more you'll love it. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up because I'm just jamming, going on and on and on. But yo, guys, if you like this video, give your homeboy Jermaine a thumbs up, okay? If you want to see more videos like this from me, hit that subscribe button down below. And thanks a lot for watching, all right, guys? And another question, people always ask me in the comments, like, why is your jacket glowing? This is an electric jacket, right? And this is high, this is medium, and this is low, and it keeps you warm. So that's why my jacket's glowing. And this is not a paid video or anything, but I do have a link in the description below if you want to check it out. But these are some really cool jackets. This is the small jacket, and I also have the big one that I wear at night. But anyway, guys, I'm out. I love all of y'all. Have a wonderful evening, and peace out, yo.